Today we're going to compare the Bugaboo Dragonfly and the Nuna Triv Next, two somewhat smaller-sized, urban-oriented reversible seat models, both from premium manufacturers, that we've had multiple requests from viewers to pit against each other. So let's jump straight into it then, looking at the advantages and disadvantages of each model in turn, and focusing on their differences in terms of child comfort, ease of use, longevity, and driving characteristics, before ending with a discussion of under what conditions and uses one might make a better purchase over the other. And starting off with the Dragonfly, and beginning with some stats, the model clocks in at just under 8 kilos, and folds down to 36 by 52 by 90 centimeters, with the seat attached. It can take 22 kilos in the seat, and 10 kilos in the underslung storage basket. Looking at child comfort, the Dragonfly seat has a sitting surface that's 101 centimeters long, meaning the backboard, baseboard, and adjustable leg rest, and a total longer length of 116 when folding down the leg rest and using the front frame as a footrest. Width-wise, the model measures 27 centimeters, which is a bit on the narrow side, not too bad, but more in line with what one gets with a two-child side-by-side model, and may thus feel a little bit tight towards the end of your child's stroller years. As far as other aspects of the seat go, the Dragonfly has a decently upright position and a near-flat recline. The textiles are well padded and decently durable, and the canopy provides decent sun coverage, provided that it's fully extended and one is using the sun flap. Moving on to parent comfort, the Dragonfly's handlebar is adjustable between 95 and 105 centimeters in height. The shopping basket is quite long and acceptably accessible, with the easiest point being from the front with the seat reversed. In addition to the main basket, the model also comes with a removable carry bag at the rear. When it comes to folding, the Dragonfly is designed to have a simple, almost magical-looking one-handed, handle-operated fold. To accomplish this, however, the folding system has been designed with a rather high degree of mechanical complexity, and getting it to function as smoothly as it looks in the advertisements does take a little practice. In addition to this, the folding system is unfortunately also likely to get a bit fiddlier as a stroller loosens up over time, in my opinion, and there's also one point during the folding process where the handle must be extended quite high, which may make it uncomfortable for shorter parents. When folding down, the Dragonfly is above average in the stability of its standing fold, and there's also a shoulder strap for easier carrying. It's decently lightweight, but the folded package is relatively tall, giving the model a length that will likely take up most of the trunk with a lot of cars. As far as the overall feel of using the Dragonfly is concerned, the model feels lightweight with well-fitted components and has decent cross support, but the complex design mechanically, combined with that lightweight, also creates a certain feeling of fragility, especially when traversing rougher ground. And as far as longevity is concerned then, the key area that I'm a little worried about over time, in particular since the model is so new, is the handle, which is relatively thin and stretches out quite long, yet is also responsible for tipping and steering a chassis that is itself a bit too long in my opinion, making for a lot of weight to loosen up connection points and mess with the alignment of internal mechanisms. And I also suspect that this is one of those models that ought to have relatively regular lubrication to keep it functioning smoothly. All that being said, Bugaboo does provide a 4-year guarantee with their strollers if you register, and they've also shown themselves to be pretty good with keeping spare parts available down the line, even for models that have gone off the market. As far as driving goes, the Dragonfly has acceptably sized wheels and sufficient suspension for tackling most cobblestones, broken sidewalks, easier parks and gravel and the like, though from a wear perspective, I would recommend keeping this stuff to a minimum. In terms of maneuverability, though the model does drive generally smoothly, its longer than average chassis makes it a bit heavier to tip and steer in my opinion, with an older child in the world-facing position. Alright, moving on, the Triv Next clocks in at a little under 9 kilos and folds down to a slightly wider, though otherwise much more compact, 32 by 57.5 by 69 centimeters, with the seat attached. It can take the same 22 kilos in the seat, but a reduced 4.5 kilos in the underslung storage basket. As far as child comfort is concerned, the Triv Next seat is wider than the Dragonfly's, at 31 centimeters, though also a tad shorter in terms of the sitting surface, at 96, and with a shorter total distance when folding down the leg rest and using the front frame mounted footrest, 104 centimeters, Though here, I would note that the shopping basket doesn't protrude into the front frame in the same manner as with the Dragonfly, which is sort of nice from a cleaning perspective. Like the Dragonfly, the Triv Next backboard is also adjustable in relation to the baseboard, allowing for a similarly very upright position and a near flat recline. The Triv Next textiles are of equal quality to the Dragonflies, and have the advantage, when it comes to warmer climates, that the seat liner can be removed to provide additional ventilation via a mesh window in the seat back. As far as sun coverage is concerned, the Triv Next canopy is a bit shorter than the Dragonflies, but still provides adequate sun coverage as long as one uses both the sun flap and the extendable portion built into the back. When it comes to parent comfort, the Triv Next has a similar range of handle height, 96 to 106 centimeters, and a shopping basket that, though shorter and having less weight capacity, is a little easier to access in my opinion. It doesn't have that fancy removable storage bag in the back, though personally I find this element a bit more of an encumbrance on the Dragonfly anyway. As far as folding is concerned, the Triv Next has an easier setup than the Dragonfly, requiring the use of 2 activation mechanisms, but folding smoothly every time, and also being quite simply and durably built, and thus much less likely to develop problems over time. As I already mentioned, the folded package is more compact than the Dragonflies, giving it an edge for car-based lifestyles, and is also self-standing, though the standing fold is arguably a little less stable. As far as the general feel of using the Triv Next goes, while the chassis isn't nearly as complex as the Dragonflies, and thus doesn't feel as fragile in this sense, the Triv Next does have slimmer connection points overall, and bends and strains a bit more from the weight of a heavier child. Looking at longevity, despite having a somewhat less reinforced chassis overall, which is why it bends, to me, the simplicity of the design balances things out for base durability. Though, that being said, unless one lives in a very smooth environment, the Triv Next is not the sort of model that should be used all day every day without a car in my opinion, as this may lead to unpleasant loosening, but is rather built more for shorter trips throughout the day. Terrain-wise, the Triv Next is quite capable of dealing with the same sort of rough terrain that the Dragonfly can tackle, whenever you need it to, and its shorter length back to front also makes it a tad lighter to steer and tip. So which of these should you get then? It's a bit of a toss-up in my opinion, with both of these models having similar seats, similar terrain capability, and both being a bit on the fragile side with regards to longevity. There is arguably a bit more creativity, shall we say, in the design of the Dragonfly when it comes to folding, but at the same time, the Triv Next folds a lot easier, folds a lot smaller, and is also cheaper. Choosing between them, if one is looking at these models for a heavily car-based lifestyle, then the Triv Next is generally a better choice in my opinion, while for city life without a car, the Dragonfly has certain advantages with its better cross support and guarantee, and its easy standing fold with the bassinet, for taking up less storage in a small apartment. Though, that being said, there are a variety of other models that compete quite strongly with the Dragonfly for this sort of urban use, while conversely, I currently feel that for reversible seat models, it's a lot harder to find better options than the Triv Next for its own, more suburban-oriented use arena. In any case, we hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, please subscribe, as this sort of support really helps us to continue making videos in the future. If you'd like to know more about either of these models, we have standalone reviews that go into a lot more detail, and links have been added in the description. In addition, if you're currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide available on our Patreon page, which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle related information. You can find it by following the link in the description as well. Thank you.